get into the plucking aspect of this tutorial, we're going to want a fine tooth comb, tweezers that look like this, and a water bottle. Okay, so you guys see how I'm sitting. This is the most comfortable way for me to sit, and I'm showing you guys how the hairline is pre-plucked. What you're going to want to do is pull away the hairs that are pre-plucked because it's already thin. You want to get to, and we want to get the hairs that are dense, okay, because that is what's going to need plucking. We want to make that thin so it can look realistic and like a hairline, of course. So before I actually pluck, I like to take the water bottle and spray the hair so I can see the hairline more visible, and so that the hairs can actually pluck a little bit better when I am plucking them. As you can see, like, they pull out a lot easier. So the method that I'm doing, I'm basically just going like half an inch in between each part of the hairline and plucking like 3 to 4 times, up to 3 to 4 times in the same spot, and then I move on like half an inch up, not above but forward from that, and pluck the next section the same way, if that makes sense. You also want to use your comb, and be sure to use your comb so that you can see the process of your plucking and see how much you've done, because if you just continuously pluck without combing those old hairs out, it's going to look like you're doing nothing, and before you know it, it's bald. So you don't want to do that. Moving on to the next section, I put out the next piece. I really do whatever feels right. You want to use your eyes a lot with this and make sure that you're looking at what's dense and what's not dense, you know, because you don't want to over pluck. When you just pluck just to pluck because you feel like you have to pluck, that's when shit starts to look crazy and over plucked. So you want to make sure you're plucking away, you feel me, hairs that look dense, parts of the hairs that look dense, making sure you're combing those hairs out. This is how much baby hairs I would pull out. Now I'm looking at the hairline as like what you would see on my head. I'm going to make this a little bit more less dense, a little bit more thin. So I'm doing the same plucking and skipping method, just plucking like 2 to 3, 4 times, and then moving on to the next depending on how full it is, combing those hairs away so I can see my process, and then moving on because I was done with that section. So I'm gonna show you guys on the next section how much hairs I pulled out. It's the same concept as the hairline is already pre-plucked, so we're going to pull away those hairs and not pluck the hairs that is already plucked, okay, because that's just going to make it look thin for no reason. So here I'm basically just repeating the same steps, plucking in one spot for like 3 to 4 times, and then skipping in the next, skipping to the next, doing whatever feels right, combing those hairs out, and then moving to the next section, whatever I feel like can be more thin. Whatever pieces of hair that just appear to be more thick, I pluck away. Like, you can really stop here, whatever, you know, feels right to you. So with me, I like my hairline to be super thin. I don't want it to be thick at all. So that's what it looks like. And then I'm moving on, doing the same thing that I did on the other side with pulling out the hairs that I feel like would be my baby hairs, and then plucking more of those hairs away. That would be technically my hairline. If you're a beginner, you definitely should not be plucking as fast as me unless you feel like you just know what you're doing. But I don't recommend plucking this fast. I know when I started off, I wasn't plucking as fast as I do now. I was being a little bit more focused and paying attention to what I was doing more. But since it's more of a repetitive process for me at this stage, I pluck quite fast. So moving on to the front side, I like to go to the side, to the other side, to the front. These are the final results. I did take my wax stick, my Luster's Renutrients wax stick, and applied that over the whole hairline. I didn't use a lot of it, and I went over with my hot comb probably like 3 times, and I was being very slow with it so it can have a very sleek pressed out look.